Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Cop Pizzle. Just want to make a quick video talking about the Giants 53-man roster that became official today. Some of the cuts that I thought was interesting, as well as those that made the team. Just going through the cuts, you can really tell like a lot of the Jerry Reese guys, the guys that he brought in, they really knocked a lot of those guys off the team. Andrew Adams, he's a guy that played a lot for the Giants at the safety position, and I got to be honest, I'm a little surprised. But at the same time, I was always lukewarm on him. There were some games I thought he played good, and some games I didn't think he was all that great. I hate to talk that badly about him, but I'm kind of glad Herzlich is gone. I never was a huge fan of his. Roger Lewis, again, another guy I was kind of lukewarm on. He had his games where I thought, he could be something. Then those games that, I was just like, man, I don't like having him on the team. Kalif Raymond was a guy watching in preseason who, he could give you separation, but he just couldn't, catch the ball a whole lot. So I'm really not surprised that he got cut. Travis Rudolph was a nice story. Thought he potentially had a chance. Ultimately got cut today. Robert Thomas, I'm a little bit surprised on because there was a lot of talk about him. It seemed like this preseason. AJ Francis, Calvin Munson also, he started some games for us. Last season, and Avery Moss was cut today. Not that Calvin Munson was any good. Going back to him, it's just the fact is, that's how banged up we were that he was out there. And then Avery Moss, who was kind of brought in Jerry Reese's group and kind of considered a project. And obviously the Giants are moving on from him. And as far as a couple of the guys that made the team, look, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm surprised they kept four quarterbacks. Alex Tanney and Kyle Lauletta and Davis Webb will be backing up Eli Manning. And I don't know I don't really exactly know what the thought process is there. I'm just assuming that probably Lauletta is just not at all even ready to even see playing action. This season. Obviously we don't want to lose Eli Manning this season to injury, but the thing is I think there is something there with Lauletta, and he just needs some time to develop his game. And so if it was a big time emergency situation, I guess it'd be good to have Tanney there. I would assume that Davis Webb would come in if Eli was to get hurt. But it is interesting that they kept four. Running backs, obviously they kept Shane Smith at fullback. No surprise about Gallman and Stewart, although I think Gallman to me is a clear number two. Obviously Barkley, and then it's good. The Robert Martin story is a good story. So interesting that they. I'm not really surprised. I mean, I guess outside of Robert Martin, but I'm not surprised with that. The receivers, it was, Odell and Sterling, and I'm assuming Cody Latimer will be the guy, the third guy. But Hunter Sharp and Russell Shepard, these are Hunter Sharp looks like he can really help the Giants on special teams. So I'm excited about him. We'll see what happens. I'm happy for Jarrell Adams. I had high hopes for him when the Giants drafted him. Again, he's part of that Jerry Reese regime, and it's good to see him, make the team. You knew Red Ellison was going to with the whole Vikings connection with Shermer and obviously Evan Ingram. Just really cool about Jarrell Adams. I'm glad they're still working with him. The offensive line, I get, Evan Brown is has emerged. I tell you who I'm probably most excited about making the team was Chad Wheeler. A lot of Giant fans out there, including myself, when he was an undrafted free agent that Jerry Reese and his crew signed, we all kind of talked him up as like, oh, maybe we we got something there, a little diamond in the rough, and he played a little bit last year, had his moments, and it's just good to see that he's still good enough to make the team. And I think he's a good backup right now. I think he can play a little bit. So I'm happy that he made the team. Obviously, that unit is a big part of the Giants' success this year, and we'll see what they do. Real quick on the defense, Darian Thompson getting waived was. I'm not at all. I'm not saying I'm disappointed. I'm just. Well, the part I am disappointed is the fact that I really thought he was going to be something. I did. And the fact that he didn't turn out what I thought he could be for the Giants, hey, it sucks. It stinks. But, it seems like Curtis Riley's got a chance to be alongside Landon Collins. I think Shane Chandler is a good player. Michael Thomas is going to come in and provide some good leadership for that unit. B.W. Webb. William Gay also is going to come in and provide some that veteran leadership. Seems like he can do a little bit of everything, cornerback, safety. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. As far as the linebackers, I guess really no surprise. I mean, I guess Vernon, Akora, Ogletree, Martin, Goodson, Davis, Carter, Barman. Ray Armstrong, I'm excited about. I think he played pretty good in the preseason. But I knew that they would keep a lot of linebackers, running that 3-4. So, I mean, it's no surprise there. They did keep, they kept a stack of linebackers. And so, no surprise there. And then, obviously, the defensive line, Kerry Wynn, Damian Harrison, Snacks, Dalvin Tomlinson, B.J. Hill. Josh Banks is a good story. Cool to see him make the team. So, a majority there, no surprises there. Like I said, a little bit surprised about Robert Thomas, but, outside of that, no surprises there. But I really like this roster. I like, it's a young roster, and I like my team. I want my team to be young, and I think this is going to be a good team. I really do. I think we're thin at the receiver position. Obviously, we've got a special player with Odell Beckham. We got a great player with Sterling Shepard, but we are thin a little bit there. Running backs, even though Barkley needs to be healthy, I think Gallman's a really good back. Stewart's got the veteran thing going on, so I think we're good there. I think we're pretty. I like where we are with tight ends. I mean, I love Evan Ingram's game. Don't want to see him get hurt, but I think we've got some good players there. Obviously, we got a lot of linebackers, so we don't want to see anybody get hurt. But the point is looks like we got a lot of depth there. I think we got a lot of depth at defensive line, and the offensive line. All of those guys just got to step up and play well. So I like this team, man, and be looking out for some videos from me. It's going to get started now. The good stuff's going to get started. I got some great stuff coming up, so I'm excited. Pistol's excited. I hope you guys are ready. Buckle up.